Okay, we're live. Welcome to episode 3 of what is now officially called the Square Go Films podcast. I'm joined as always by filmmaker Ian Money Gordon and Steed Robbie Beans Davidson. And this week we've got Adrian Smith coming in to say hello. Adrian is the fourth member of our film company Square Go Films, and he is also a well-renowned fantasy artist. Hello, Adrian.
Right, mate.
Welcome. So, what we want to know in this episode is a bit about you, first of all, for the viewers and listeners at home. We can start off from birth, or from when you got into doing art.
No.
Well, it's got to be one of the two.
Well, luckily I've got a really shit memory, and I'm renowned for that.
Well,
I'm renowned for having a bad memory.
Let's try our best and go all the way back.
No, let's... Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Fine.
So, how did you get into illustration and art?
Babysitting from my uncle and seeing his drawings and seeing Hieronymus Bosch while listening to Blondie.
Nice.
And headphones, big headphones, big fucking
That's
headphones.
an odd mix, because for some reason I always associate Hieronymus Bosch with Black Sabbath.
He wasn't really into that stuff. He looked like he was, but he wasn't really into that stuff.
But is there a Sabbath album cover that used Hieronymus Bosch, or am I just
I don't
making
know,
that
it
up?
might have been.
Maybe.
I'm not a big Sabbath.
Right.
I'm a fan, but I'm not a big fan. I don't know much about him.
He was
Blondie
like,
should know.
he was like 15th century or something, wasn't he? 16th
Who,
century.
Adrian?
No, Hieronymus
Hieronymus
Bosch.
Bosch, yeah, he
Yeah.
was eating that ergo, that black stuff that makes you
Yeah.
trip your
Oh,
nuts
right,
off.
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, his art looks like
Apparently.
that.
Really
Yeah.
wild stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Garden Earthly Delights in
Yeah, that's
Prada
right.
in Madrid,
Yeah.
and it was mind-blowing.
It's just naughtiness, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
He was having a laugh, really. 'Cause he was having a laugh.
you listened to Blondie when you started, because obviously we spend a lot of time together now, and the music you listen to is quite different.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that.
No, that's the music he had. That wasn't what I was listening
Ah, okay.
to. Oh, yeah.
Hieronymus Bosch.
The
music of his
my
time,
uncle,
yeah.
when I was babysitting, that's how you asked how I got into it. I
Yeah.
think that's my first thoughts, yeah.
I was going to ask about the music you play, because when, obviously on the YouTube channel you have, and in the studio there's this like ambient layer of death metal, people like Foddo Corpse and
Aye.
Conan and stuff like that. Is it for the sake of white noise, or is it to get you into a mood? Is it to get you into a zone for what you're going to do? Or
I just love it like anyone does.
Yeah.
I'm just a fan, that's all.
yeah,
I'm just lucky that I've got to talk to them through things like Instagram and stuff like that.
yeah,
And then we formed a relationship where I do something for them, like a few drawings or donate a bit of artwork, and they'll
cool.
let me use their music. It's nice.
See, if I'm doing artwork or anything like that, as much as a metalhead as I am, it stresses me out doing stuff like that. I tend to have like
Having
not
really fast.
not
and-
quite like whale noises or anything, but that sort of thing. But do you find that's
Is that what you were asking? What sort of effect?
Yeah, like
Why I do it?
is it there for just for white noise to help you concentrate, or
It's
is
a
it there to
comfort
get?
thing. It's like
Yeah.
having someone else in the room. Plus, it's a comfort thing. You're familiar with it.
Yeah,
You're not going to have like rhythms or beats sort of putting you off because you've listened to it 100 times already.
yeah,
I have stuff on the loop, honestly. I'm
Yeah.
totally into that band Inquisition. I never stop listening to it.
Yeah.
It's like earliest album to latest on the loop
yeah.
throughout the week.
Well, if you go along to the studio where they're making models, it's pretty much the same three
Yeah.
songs.
We've got a wee cult
I
going.
know those songs very well.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So from there, from babysitting, when did you think this is what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Oh no, that just got me into drawing and thinking it was fun drawing. That was my first getting into being an artist, if you like. But fantasy drawing and stuff was Rodney Matthews and record covers and stuff like that. That's what got me into that. Yeah, bookshops.
Who's
and
Rodney
record covers.
Matthews?
Rodney Matthews. You'd know him if you saw him.
Okay.
But it was more the fact that I realised when I was going into the Waterstones bookshop, simply to pick up the books and have a look. I could never afford them.
Yeah.
And then one day realising, hang on, someone's buying this, someone's getting money, these artists are getting paid, it's a job.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, it's a job. And then eventually got to college somehow and, didn't get into art college, they wouldn't let me into art college because my grades were shit.
So what did you do at college?
I did graphics.
Right.
yogurt pots and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
Yogurt pot.
Yeah.
I'd love. You should do a new yogurt pot, like in the style. Like you
I'd
do
probably
your
enjoy
artwork.
it now, yeah.
I'd love
But
the.
no,
But
at the
like
time.
black metal, chaos, Warhammer.
Yeah, that's
yogurt
what I
pot.
wanted to draw. I
Mhm.
wanted to draw that shit.
I'd
But
love
do
the
a
idea
yogurt
that somewhere out there there's a Adrian Smith yogurt pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah, here I am.
And
The only good thing about those
Oh,
times
nice.
was the parties and stuff, you know. Yeah, that's Rodney Matthews. God, that's fucking classic.
Cool. Did he do like video game covers maybe?
Yeah, he
and
did. He's
like
done a few. There's a famous one of his, the Black Steam Engine. That's a very famous one of his.
sci-fi book covers maybe. I feel like.
Michael Moorcock. Are you familiar with Michael Moorcock? He did a lot of covers for them. Yeah,
Right.
He was really well known at his time. He's still going, and
Right.
his work's still great.
Would this be painted stuff or is this airbrush?
Yeah, this
stuff,
is
or-
that is, yeah, it's airbrushed and ink drawings mostly.
Cool.
Yeah, no computer stuff. I don't know if he does computer now. I don't know. There he is now. Oh, he's on YouTube. Look, you should check him out. He's great. Big inspiration on me. Massive inspiration. Him and Ian Miller. And oh god, the list is long. I don't want to name names because there's no one above anyone else. They're all really great.
so you thought to yourself, this is something that I could make a living from, or were you not thinking about that at the time?
No, I was thinking about getting printed.
Getting published.
Yeah, just seeing it in
Yeah.
print. Yeah,
Hmm.
did it for me. Yeah.
And in pre-internet, prehistoric times.
Oh, how I got the job was sending photocopies in a fat envelope
Nice.
and hoping it got there.
Mhm. So where did you
Barely
send this?
having the money for the ficking stamps, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this was pre-Games Workshop. So
No, this was Games Workshop's been starting, 83 or something weird. As
Right.
a couple of guys and expanded around 87 or
Right.
so.
and is that where you primarily were sending your stuff?
I
or-
freelanced for them before I worked in the studio.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I sent stuff off to them, portfolio, which I made in about 2 days by going to the library looking at Gustave Doré books and just
Yeah.
ripping them off. And that didn't spikes. No, I'm not even joking. And because I was so, just felt like the right time to do it, and I just, went hell for leather. And I was lucky. I got some freelance work
Mhm.
and then proved myself that way, really. Because they only gave me a couple to start with, then they ended up doing like loads of them.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, the money was shit, and but it was good. It was good.
And they would just fire you a brief and let you go to work.
Yeah. How did they do it?
Yeah, I was wondering how much influence you had over.
Sometimes they'd send me photographs or photocopies from the catalogue of miniatures.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a tiny photocopy of a photograph of a
Yeah.
miniature. And they'd say, put that in the picture. Basically, put that in the picture.
But
We need a half pager, we need a quarter pager, and you just fill it.
But presumably you got still quite a lot of artistic license for
Oh,
the
yeah,
armor
obviously,
and
because
the
you couldn't see what
weapons
the
and
fuck
stuff.
you were looking
Yeah.
at. So you would just have to make it up anyway.
So how much of that do you think became a feedback loop then? That people looked at your art and used that to make the miniatures?
It was a cycle after a while.
Yeah.
Obviously, to start with, it was the miniatures. I loved the miniatures, by the way. Before I was an artist, as a kid, I used to go to that same bookshop because I didn't have Games Workshop shops.
Yeah.
They sold through, what did I say it was called? It's on the high street, the bookshop.
Waterstones.
Waterstones, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Waterstones, they sold through them. And used to go there, and they were loose, not even in packaging, loose. You go there with like 20p, which was like a quid in those days, a couple of quid in those days. God, I'm fucking old, aren't I? And, you'd be creaming yourself over it. I just loved it, all of it. And I just recently read The Hobbit and stuff like that, and it was all coming together. It was like really a significant time for me. Yeah, it's great.
See, I remember pre-Games Workshop, there was the Hope Chest in Kirkcaldy. You could
Oh,
buy
yeah.
those little figures.
Mm-hmm.
But I seem to remember ones that were a bit smaller than your traditional Warhammer stuff. But see, I think you're more so known for your kind of sort of fantasy stuff. But have you ever like made the foray into like what they call space marines and things like that?
Oh, I have done plenty of that.
Right.
Oh,
right, cool.
yeah.
So a bit futuristic stuff
Oh,
as well.
some of my most famous paintings are Space
Cool.
Marine stuff.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I was one of the first to do the Emperor and stuff like that.
Oh,
actually.
really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah, even at the time, it felt like a honour. Yeah, it was
And
good.
what were the bad guys? Was it Gene Stealers or something?
That's just one. Yeah, they're all bad guys, really.
Right.
In fact, in the good old days, they were all bad guys. Now I'm not so sure.
Mhm.
They
Well-
seem to have heroes in it. God forbid.
because tying onto that, Space Marines, as far as I know, I think it's getting made into a movie, and I think the person
That's what I've heard.
right, and
Henry
I think,
Cavill, right?
yeah, and I think the person
Yeah.
attached to it is a fan of yours.
There's rumours though.
Aye, Henry, yeah.
Well,
well,
first name terms.
Well, I've talked to him on Instagram.
Cool.
Oh, he's
Awesome.
really lovely. He's lovely. Yeah, really
Nice
nice. He'll answer you when he gets a chance. He'll answer you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great.
What a guy.
Can't ask for more.
There are rumours though that he has left that project.
Oh, really?
They're only rumours.
I've heard all sorts of rumours. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just clickbait now, isn't it? Oh, Henry's
Yeah.
having trouble. Oh, Henry.
That's the
Oh,
kind
fuck.
of thing that could get stuck in production hell just by how many people are
You
fans
can
of
imagine it is
you know what I
difficult
mean?
Yeah.
for him. Yeah, I can
Yeah.
imagine it's fucking hellish.
And it would almost be impossible to make it in a way that would make people happy because there's
Well,
just so many
yeah,
fans
exactly.
that have different perspectives, I
Yeah.
think.
I heard that he's heading up to Scotland to do the next Highlander reboot. So,
No way.
so
Yeah, you
like,
told me that.
Get him on the
it's-
blower.
It's basically like it's
Robbie will
exactly
have him
the
in
same,
front of a
though.
green
You know,
screen.
you're never gonna please people with that. You're gonna end up just pissing people off. So I don't know. I like Henry Cavill, but he's wading into territory where like,
He's a bit of a posh boy for that role.
you think, yeah.
Is he playing the
I
Scotsman?
don't know.
He
Yeah,
is, isn't
he
he?
must be.
Exactly,
Yeah, he
but
must be.
surely he's going to be better than a French guy
Yeah.
playing a Scotsman.
Yeah.
Scotsman.
The
Yeah.
thing that makes Highlander good is that it's completely mental.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
I
if
mean,
they're
you know what I
putting
mean?
money into Scotland and it's just
Yeah.
him, mate, as long as they've got a few Scottish actors in there, I don't see a problem.
Yeah.
There's a
We
whole
don't mind
rant in
Scottish
there-
people
in
playing
there, I think.
English.
Yeah. No. It was, some of our greatest
Yeah.
heroes are not
I'm
Scottish.
sure that'll piss a lot of people off me saying that, but never mind.
So I'm sure everybody wants to know how you ended up getting involved in Warhammer because that period that you're talking about is kind of the golden age.
No, it's the miniatures that got me into
Yeah.
it. And fantasy. Fantasy was big. Michael Moorcock, stuff like that was all big.
But in terms of working with Games Workshop, was it just a case of you were canvassing your work around a bunch of companies and they were the ones that happened to?
No, I went out one day and I came back. My dad said, "Oh, you've got an interview tomorrow in Nottingham with Games
Really?
Workshop." Yeah,
An actual interview.
yeah, with John Blanche.
How do they do an interview for an artist's position? How does that work?
Because they had an in-house studio then.
Right.
Yeah,
so
by
they're
then-
basically making sure you're not completely antisocial psychopath.
No,
They wanted me out of the
That
house.
would be fine, surely.
He wanted me out of the house, pure and simple. Yeah, and he
So-
thought,
so did
right,
you-
what's he doing freelance for? He can go over there and bloody earn his living.
Yeah.
So how far away was Nottingham for you at the time?
I was
to
in
get there?
Rotherham,
Right.
near Sheffield. Yeah,
Right.
pretty grim. Lovely people, but it's a little bit grim. No offence, honestly.
And did you say you had to do an interview with John Blanche?
Yeah,
Straight away, you're meeting
yeah,
like
straight
him.
away.
Right.
I knew him from his book he did with the Lord of the Rings visual dictionary. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it was like, and plus the gear. When he sat me down, I was like barely 18. I can't even remember.
Wow.
He had a big painting there, deliberately sat there on the table, of Jim Burns, a famous artist of his time, still very good. And yeah, it's so intimidating. And they put me on the shittest wage you could imagine, but yeah, I don't hold grudges. Well, I do, and I have, but I don't.
So you weren't freelancing. You were on a wage, and you were.
No, I got the job then. Yeah.
Yeah.
I basically moved in, slept on someone's floor, different people's floor for
Yeah.
a few months. Yeah, literally.
And what mediums were you working on at that point for Warhammer art? Was it
Pencil
all, right?
and cartridge paper. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because remember, I didn't have any artistic training.
Yeah.
Oh, but I did. I had the best training because they plonked me in a room with Paul Bonner and other brilliant artists at the time.
Right.
Yeah, in the room with them. Yeah.
Right. So you said
You
you
steal
didn't
their
have any
brushes.
training, as in your graphics, yogurty stuff was purely yogurty design stuff.
I didn't
so,
even finish that course,
Right.
Bobby.
So-
I wasn't even that.
Right. So there was no, like, even at high school, there was no like anatomy, human anatomy, or anything.
High school, I was into drawing, and I did all the sci-fi stuff, and they just spent most of the time trying to put me off and make me draw other stuff.
Yeah.
Don't draw what you want to draw.
Yeah.
Draw this,
Mm-hmm.
which is a bit weird.
Did you, like any normal schoolboy, draw your own stuff on the side of jotters and things like that? Like.
Oh, other people's drawings, yeah, I was
Yeah,
drawing
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Danger Mouse was a big thing.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to ask. Was it dark fantasy stuff or was it just cartoonish?
Oh, I always had a sort of weird side to me. I was a weird kid. I didn't have many friends.
So it wasn't like, oh, Adrian's rad at drawing. Go and draw this on my jotter or anything.
No, going, "Oh, it's that weirdo if you're drawing that boy." It's more like that. Him over there in the back. Yeah, being put in detention for looking out the window and made to look out the window for an hour. It's very difficult, actually. Yeah. But yeah.
So, because we're primarily a movie podcast, would you say there was any movies in particular that influenced your work?
Oh, during school?
No,
Oh, no,
no,
after. Influenced my work. Oh, fuck, yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them. Yeah, there's no way they can't, even if it's just down to lighting or feeling, atmosphere.
Like what sort of stuff, what sort of movies do you think had an influence on your
Early
work?
influences would be Ralph Bakshi's Lord of the Rings. Is that the one? The
Is that
animated
the-
one?
is
Can you
that
look
the-
for that one, Gary?
Is that
That's
the cartoon
brilliant.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And was that rotoscoped as well?
Yeah, I think there was a
don't
bit
know.
of that.
I don't know.
Because I seen a
There
thing.
was also
Because
there's also another cartoon thing called
You can't hear, I
Wizards.
can't hear.
Wizards, I think it's Wizards. That was a big
I don't
influence
know
on me.
I
Had
think-
Ian Miller backgrounds on it.
I was going to say, I think I know the cover.
Yeah,
that
I
sounds-
think that's Ralph Bakshi as well, actually.
Lord of the
Right,
Rings,
okay.
Yeah.
the cartoon.
Is it like a weird alien type figure, but is he got like a sort of rifle or something?
Gas mask guy, maybe, if I remember rightly.
Right.
There was handmade films, wasn't it? The Beatles,
Oh, that's
George
the
Harrison's.
Hobbit. Oh, was it the Hobbit he did, not Lord of the Rings? Oh, was it? No, it was
No,
Lord
they
of the
did do Lord of the Rings.
Rings.
There was a Hobbit one as well. I remember. I think the
Yeah.
Hobbit one they actually finished, but
Right.
Lord of the Rings
No,
they
they
got as
didn't
far as
finish.
Helm's Deep or something.
Yeah, well,
Because I saw a thing recently. The
tell you
guy
what, he
that had,
tried to treat it with more respect than certain people. Anyway.
the guy. Oh, what's his? Viggo Mortensen. What was his character?
Aragorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when they filmed the guy to rotoscope him, he tripped up on his own sword.
All right, so they just rotoed it.
And and they kept it in. They rotoscoped it and kept it in. I was like, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
What is... Sorry, I'm going, yeah. What is rotoscope? Rotoscope.
So
What's that?
basically, filming, the actors do it, and then
Yeah.
they trace it.
You go over the film cells, so they actually paint over the film cells or draw over the film cells.
For what? For
For
what?
the Lord of the
for
Rings.
the Lord of the
for
Rings,
this one.
animating it.
Best example.
Viggo Mortensen.
Best
No, no, no.
example's Tron. You know
No, it was
what?
his character. It was Aragorn. He was just trying to remember the name of the
Oh,
character. Whoever
yeah,
Aragorn
of course, in the
was
cartoon he
there.
trips
Yeah.
over,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
so it was they'd filmed it, and the actual actor did that. And
Yeah, that's right.
kept
Yeah,
it
there's
in.
lots of that painted over. I wondered how they did that. Because
Right,
it looks
yeah.
like they've used bits of Zulu and stuff like that in the film. Yeah,
Yeah.
for the big orc battles and stuff.
Yeah, it's got a
Fucking love
really
that movie.
natural movement and quite creepy.
I love that
kinda-
movie. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Big influence on me.
Cool. Any
So-
others that had an influence
Wizards,
on
have a look at that.
Right,
Ralph
Wizards.
Bakshi. But films, let me see. That'd be the World War II films.
you?
Yeah. The stuff you like.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Because I grew up with that shit.
Oh, right enough, because when we were filming in Dumfries, there was the huge big diorama, and the guy was, do you remember that?
Aye, that's right.
Yeah.
The bridge.
That was it, yeah. And
Pegasus Bridge.
and the guy was like talking, and you were like, oh, it's this and that, and like,
Yeah.
I think you knew more than the
I knew,
guy.
yeah, I knew a wee bit. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm well into that stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah,
That was
That's
cool.
that's the first day I ever met you.
yeah, that's
That was
right.
the start of our
I saw
romance.
your blue eyes cross around. I thought, oh, he's lovely.
So to coincide with that, viewers, fuck, I don't even know how we met through Stig. So when we're-
Everything's through that man.
yeah,
Yeah.
You
so,
got to get him on here one day.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So when we were filming Dick Dynamite, Stig came on board as an extra originally, and then loved it so much he was on almost every other shoot. And then throughout filming, he was like, "Oh, I should get my mate Adrian. He's an artist, and he could even help set dress, makeup, or something." And then that was it, wasn't it? And then,
yeah,
you,
something like that. Bless him.
and then
Yeah.
you came along to. I'm trying to think, what was your first shoot?
The first shoot wasn't that the underground one, the silo.
the
whatever it was.
silo.
No, no,
Yeah.
it was the airport in Dumfries.
Oh,
was
airport. That's
before
right.
that.
Oh,
The
right.
conning tower.
Yeah.
That's
the
right.
one,
Yeah.
the one that we were just talking about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Adrian said to me, "I need a videographer. I'm an artist," and I didn't think too much of it. And then I think you texted me a couple of times,
Yeah.
and I went round to your house, and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh shit, you're the artist. You're that guy." You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I was like, "Holy shit."
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
and,
right.
And,
And then
the
I
rest
found out
is history.
you lived
Bloody hell,
literally around
that's
the corner
centuries
from me.
ago. I know.
Yeah.
God, Kirkcaldy's a weird place. It's a magic place. I mean, in the leprechaun kind of magic, you know,
Well,
the
I have a
magic you
theory
can't
about.
trust.
trust.
I have a theory about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because there's the old legend of the wizard Michael Scott. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Maybe.
Right.
The big wooden thing in the beverage park is him.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So he defeated the devil in Kirkcaldy and buried him in the harbour.
Okay.
And so I
Allegedly.
associate a lot of the weirdness with Kirkcaldy to the devil being buried here.
Oh, right. What's he buried in? I'll go and rescue the poor fucker.
He's going to be raging.
I think it's Desert Beach, to be
Is it like a big
precise.
iron chest or something he's in? Or?
I'm not sure, actually, if he's just buried. I was going to say
Go
buried
and get a
alive.
Tory Burn Witch while you're at it. She's...
Yeah. So just for a bit of context on that, for people listening, Kirkcaldy is full of weird and wonderful characters, mostly creative people that we seem to keep bumping into, filmmakers, musicians, artists, and you're just kind of like, what the fuck are you doing in Kirkcaldy? But there seems to be, I mean,
It's the power of Satan luring
yeah, it
them in.
just feels
there's a
like
reason.
there's
There's a reason.
something going on in Kirkcaldy.
Jockey
It's a
Wilson.
centre for something.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah.
There's maybe like a portal to another dimension here or something that we've not discovered yet.
I know, that's annoying. Annoying.
Well, that kind of implies that they've all come from this other dimension, but we were already here, so we're not the same.
Oh, we're still doing witch hunting by the looks of it. What you got here, Gary?
Tales of Witchcraft, Witch Hunting, and the Kirkcaldy Kirk session.
Oh, good old Kirkcaldy.
This took us.
See, we're good at everything.
So
Brilliant.
just to steer this on,
Yeah.
filmmaking has been brought into this conversation. Through meeting Adrian, we then discovered that you had your own IP, intellectual property,
Mm-hmm.
and you caught somewhat of the filmmaking bug, I think,
Mm-hmm.
from
Speaking to Robbie, yeah.
yeah, and hanging out with us and seeing how talented we all are,
Yeah.
and then thought to yourself, I want to have a stab at this.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back a little bit
Okay.
to the origin of the Chronicles of Hate, because I'm
Oh, yeah.
curious. I'm curious why you went from doing commissions and doing like single
Aye.
pieces and working in, I guess, the Warhammer
Yeah.
universe, to deciding I'm going to tell my own story. I'm going to
Yeah,
build
well,
up my own universe.
I'm
And
curious, actually.
yeah,
Why was I so comfortable
You're
to
looking at
start
me
a
thinking,
fucking
I wish-
comic?
Yeah.
But then I'm a workaholic, what people call... No, it's not really work. It is work. It is hard, you know. It's tiring. It does everything work does.
yeah,
I mean, sitting there painting, you know. It's not a doddle.
yeah.
But I'm a workaholic. It's always the next one. But before I do the next one, I discipline myself enough to finish what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's why I say 50% of my stuff is shit. Because I've been impatient with myself.
See, I remember getting a comic book and my uncle saying, he's like, that's just a waste. And I was like, what do you mean? It's just like, there's that little panel and there's so much work going into it just for you to be like, one sentence is read and then, the next bit and all that. Which, I kind of get what he means. It's
Yeah, I get
so
what he
much,
means.
it's like rather than doing a massive painting
Yeah.
that someone looks at for ages,
Yeah.
it's, you know what I mean? And
But
like
he's getting
with-
it wrong, you see. That's that throwaway mentality behind comics.
But with
Yeah.
with yours, it makes me that's still stuck in my head, and I'm looking at your stuff, and it's like, fuck, for something you're just sort of like, not whisking through, but you're sort of like, okay, there's that, making the story go from A to B, but there's just like so much detail in it, all
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
the stuff, like big battle scenes, and there's like tons of characters and all
I think
that.
the
It's-
word graphic novel covers it better than comic.
Yeah.
Serialized,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work as well.
yeah,
It would have to be long serialized.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it would still work without any exposition,
Uh-huh.
and it's still it's completely open to interpretation in a lot of ways as well. I
So, but
think-
with Hate, it's a
Yeah,
trilogy, though,
it's
right?
deliberately vague. No, it's nothing. It's ongoing. I've done lots of
Oh, is
short
it?
stories as well. It's until I get bored.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Ah,
and
okay.
I'm not nowhere near bored yet.
Right, cool.
Yeah,
Because one of the things for me is when you gave me a Hate book, you said, "Oh, take this one. It's French, but the artwork's so much better."
The printing quality
the print,
is
sorry.
better, yeah.
And I remember, I was like,
think
"All
I've
right,
got
cool." But I was I'd done French at high school a bit, and I didn't understand it completely. But what I liked about that more was I was kind of having to fill in the blanks and work out the story
visually.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so I'm not sure if my take on it is what it actually is, but I kind of
Well,
it made me enjoy it even more because I
Yeah.
had to sort of
Yeah. Well, originally it was meant to be silent, completely silent. Yeah, yeah. But then I'm friends with a writer, so I listened to him. Yeah, for my sins. Yeah, but he was right. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a version one day with just no text.
well
Yeah.
going off. See, you saying you're friends with a writer. I remember you saying, "Oh, Pat Mills was at my house," and I was like, one of my favourite comic book writers, and he was
Yeah.
round the corner from my house. I'm
Yeah,
like,
we're mates. Yeah,
so
lovely guy. Really lovely guy.
You friends with any other like 2000 AD legends?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
2018.
I know. I was pinching myself whenever I was
Right.
sitting across the table from him. Yeah.
You did a collab with him at one point, did you not?
Yeah, for a long going one. 3 books in France, Bros. Yeah, fully painted.
Amazing.
No one knows about
You
it.
need to check that out.
No one.
Did you do anything in 2000 AD in the periodical?
No, I did
Or
a thing in
monthly?
Toxic comic.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, do you?
I remember the comic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I remember your work.
Right, I couldn't even afford to buy it. I don't have any copies of it.
Right.
And I did 5 covers.
Right.
5
cool.
covers, and I didn't get paid a penny.
What was that? Late 80s?
I don't know.
Toxic? I think I remember.
It's one of those things that
I
my
thought-
brain is
yeah.
trying to erase. You know.
Sorry.
Nah, there's a bit of bitterness there.
Cool. Well, so where are we at with, in terms of, you got the film bug, doing stuff with us, and obviously you started doing your YouTube channel with Sandy.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
what was your thought process about seeing it all happen and putting the 2 and 2 together, like, all right, this is how it works, kind of, and here's Hate, my
It
idea.
was like, I just saw it as another tool, another canvas, just another medium, that's all. That I wanted to explore. I said to myself, right, Robbie's having fun. Robbie's made something really good there, and he's done it on the cheap.
Mhm.
I'm going to try.
Cool.
Yeah. And it's not been fucking cheap.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about?
Nah.
Well, I mean, there's a trailer out for.
Oh,
for
about
Hate.
the film?
Yeah.
That's going to be edited into this.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But
Well, the plan is, I might as well tell you the plan. I'm not in it for the money by any means, but the plan is to do the first. I'm going to do it sort of like 300 was as close to the comic as it is.
Mm.
I love that film. That was going to be my top choice for the comic conversion.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the second was going to be.
Spoilers. Wait a minute.
I might not be here. Am I going to be here? Sorry.
Oh, we'll get you back, and we'll do
yeah,
it.
I'll come back. And no, I'd love to come back. What was I saying?
So yeah,
300.
you want it to be exactly like the comic, Chronicles of Hate.
Yeah. What were you asking, Robbie? Sorry. See what I mean? My brain.
Just like how you've made the sort of decision to go from
Yeah, I was treating it like a different medium. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I've approached it in what I consider to be straightforward and simple way, and just do it literally,
Yeah.
Although I didn't. I put myself up. I thought, right, just do a short hate story. Now, you remember years ago we've been filming for a long time.
Yeah.
because what
But now my plan. That's right. I was talking about my plan. That's right. Yes. Yeah, something was trying to stop me. Yeah, but I'm going to carry on. Okay. Right. Yeah, the plan is to do the first chapter. When the hero wakes up, basically.
okay.
Do it just past there, and use that as a marketing thing. I mean, I don't know anything about this shit. I'm a complete noob.
Mm-hmm.
We all are.
Yeah,
We're fumbling our way through, kind
well,
of.
we are. We're finding our way through easier than most seem to be.
But I
Yeah,
think
people are
the
getting trained.
core of what you need is already there, because it was already in
Yeah.
Chronicles of Hate. The story's there.
Well,
and
that's why
it's a visual story as
Yeah,
well.
that's
so-
why it's exciting. All these tools are accessible. If you're lucky, or you've got a few pennies to get these cameras and stuff, you can go
Yeah.
out there. But you can do it with a phone. If you're really passionate.
Yeah.
I understand when people say, "Oh, you can do it with a phone." Yeah, it's true. You can.
Yeah.
Because
But
the editing software's on there as well, isn't it? It's-
Yeah.
But I think the lesson to be learned is sort of like with Ian's filmmaking, there's the sort of his style, there's my style, what Sandy's doing, and you've sort of got your own
Yeah,
style. And
that's
it's,
why
and
we
it's-
fit so well.
And it's
Yeah.
sort of, we're all sort of
Yeah.
helping a little bit.
Yeah.
And just one of the things that I love is anytime I drop by your studio, there's like a mass of more costumes and helmets and stuff and
miniatures.
armor, and I'm just like, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like life-size.
Oh, that's
It's,
good
it
old
is
Terry.
industrial light
That's
and
good old
magic.
Terry. I
and
wouldn't be
Kirkcaldy.
anywhere near I am without Terry's help.
Right.
Oh, he's amazing.
Shout out to Terry Brady.
Yeah, we'll get you on here one day, mate.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the quality of the miniatures and the costumes is like.
Because I'm forgetting that some of it is scale models, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they're unbelievable. I mean, I even
Oh,
just
that scene you two
Yeah.
worked out with the mother dancing in the glade.
yeah,
Mm.
That
Well,
first take, I'm not going to change that. I'm keeping that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking beautiful.
I mean, like,
I love working with the miniatures as well because you're in a place where the light doesn't change, there's no environmental conditions.
Control.
You can just enjoy yourself. You can spend time. You can control everything.
Yeah, again, it's working with a canvas. It's working with that model as a canvas.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the trailer, and it's all real stuff, real people, a real place. But when I saw that clip of the mother going through the forest, it looked far better. I think because you made the scale model forest, and because you were able to make it, you made it just like it's so much more over the top than real life, and more jaggy, spiky, and evil looking. And I actually thought, and once you green screened the woman in, I just thought it looked incredible. It didn't look like, they've green screened someone. Well, one, they've green screened someone. Two, that's a scale model. It didn't look like neither.
You can't imagine my feelings when I first saw that. Honestly, it was like, oh my god. Yeah, that's what keeps me going. Remembering that, looking at
That's one of my favourite things we've ever done.
Yeah.
Well,
and I want to do much more of that stuff.
What I love about working on that movie is because the source material is so good that every time you shoot something and then you look at the cell, so you look at the comic, and it looks about as close as you can get, in real terms, and that kind of gives you a real kick, because then you're doing something right. Because if you can get it as close to the source material as you can,
And like in the comic, I'm not going to be, I'm not worried about things carrying on in order with the lighting. It can change drastically from one season. Continuity. That's the word I was looking for. I'm not worried about that so much. It's pure eye candy.
Oh, well, there you go. Like, if the viewers at home can see the artwork,
that's right.
The shot just looks identical, except the screen ratio's different.
Yeah, and we're still to put in the Goat Boys, which is ready almost.
Awesome. And am I right in saying that pre-COVID, you had outside interest in developing Chronicles of Hate?
Yeah, that's right. Zack Snyder.
Right.
Yeah. He expressed interest anyway. Yeah. Good friend of mine, David Preety, helped me with that. Yeah.
One of my questions was the draw of making the film yourself, the fact that you would never have to answer to anyone.
Say that again.
So
I was mesmerised by your lovely blue eyes.
I'm not surprised. Was the draw of making the film the fact that you wouldn't have to have anyone else's creative input? It would just be.
That's me. But that's where That's why I'm not rich, because I'm like that with everything. Yeah, I decided not to take any shit.
But if Henry Cavill came to you and said, I want to make this project and I'll give you a big suitcase full of money, but we'll just go away and make it and you won't be involved.
Nah.
That
it depends. If it was billions, maybe. Because I could just buy another studio and remake it. Call it something else.
Yeah.
Have a clause in it that James Corden must be in it, and like.
I don't know. Everyone needs money. You know what I mean? If it was someone I knew and trusted, and they said they wanted to go away and make it just like the comic, and they promised me that, I'd say, okay, cheers, fine, okay, take Sandy and Ian with you, and Robbie if you want to. That's what I do, if I'm honest. Yeah.
I hope you're listening, Henry.
It does be a lot of money though. That'd be a lot of money.
Yeah.
So what's next for you creatively?
Oh God, it's different every day, mate. No, it's not going to stop. No, I don't think like that. No, just tomorrow's fine.
Okay.
Or
one day at
in
a
an
time.
hour. Yeah.
Cool.
But we have got our YouTube channel that you guys could check
You
out.
should definitely plug the YouTube channel because it's brilliant and it's good. If you're into art, it's good. If you're not into art, it's still good because it's quite relaxing to watch, I think. But it's I watched I was watching your digital process of colouring graphite or black and white stuff that you've scanned in.
Yeah, nice easy way of doing it.
And you had a paint palette on the edges and you're just using the picker and getting. And I was thinking that's fucking genius.
Right? Yeah, I know. Well, thank you. I'm sure it's not. I just haven't seen anyone else doing that.
Yeah,
and it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I would have never thought of that, and also because you blended the colours and everything, so you've got it's just like a proper paint palette there.
Yeah. Well spotted. Thank you.
So that's on YouTube at Adrian Smith Artist. We're about to launch a Patreon as well, with loads of content. including loads of live streams and stuff like that, where you can watch Adrian paint, ask questions,
What's that shit in the middle?
all that kind of fun stuff. And you can also check out the trailer for the Hate movie, although we probably might have edited it in by this point. If not, then the link will be below in the podcast description.
Yeah, go and have a look. That'd be good.
What are we looking at now?
I don't know.
Is there artwork there that's not your artwork?
Yeah, there may
Yeah,
well be AI
There was
artwork
someone using my shit.
Oh,
So-
is that a segue there, Ian?
here.
Because
Well,
I did forewarn Adrian that we might bring up AI,
we might use the trigger word.
Yeah.
God, they're such fucking rip-off.
and he said it
Oh.
might turn into a rant, which I'm
Yeah.
quite excited about,
Well,
to be honest.
I can understand it because, I mean, genuinely, if
Oh
you
my
Google
God.
Adrian Smith art and you look in the image section, as you're scrolling down, you're going to see stuff that isn't Adrian's. It's just people have used his name in a prompt in order to collect, in order to get generative
Oh
AI
my
to make
God.
images supposedly like Adrian's, but without a soul.
Oh, that's someone who animated the book one for me. That was nice of him.
Cool. Well, should we move on to the final segment of the...
Oh,
To
yeah, I
the
forgot
show?
about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Lucky Dip, do you want me to introduce that? Cause
Yeah, go ahead. It
'cause
was
I
your
had-
brainchild,
I had
wasn't
to
it?
explain it to you guys like 5 times or something, and that seemed...
Sounds about right.
I mean, our audience, I think, will get it straight away. It's basically Secret Santa, right? So we've had a selection of films. Gary has allocated us each a film to watch, and I don't even want to know how he's decided who gets to watch what. I like to think he's got, like, dice made from the bones of human knuckles or something like that. And he's basically issued us
You
with a
like
film.
to think that.
He's issued us with a film that we have to watch and then review, so we don't know what the other people have watched. And for future episodes, we'd like the audience to submit these films, which you can do so by emailing squaregoluckydip@gmail.com. So you can send us films, hopefully films that we can find for free, if possible, and not pay £5, like I did for my film.
Or if you've made
I
it,
like how you look at me. I don't know. I don't know if you.
or if you've made a film, send that film to us as well.
Yeah, we would
We'd love
watch.
to see
Yeah, once we've got enough suggestions at squaregoluckydip@gmail.com, Gary will roll his dice knuckles and issue them out to us.
Roll the bones.
But for
A
this first
metaphor.
one, we submit.
Euphemism, I mean.
What's that?
Nothing.
So for this first Lucky Dip, we've all submitted films for each of us to watch. In theory, we don't know whose films we've watched, and we don't know who the intended victim of the film. But I think in practice, it's going to be pretty obvious.
I tried to curve mine slightly.
Okay. Well, shall I tell you what I watched?
Or how about we start with our guest?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's,
Oh, what? I've got to talk about what I watched.
yeah,
What do you want to know?
What your
Just,
lucky
What
dip.
did you watch,
Yeah,
and who
tell
do you
us-
think it was that sent you?
it's quite obviously Robbie's.
Oh.
It's not.
What's the film?
I don't think.
Or
Next
it's
time
Ian being tricky.
what did you watch?
It was, oh shit, what was it called?
Elite Squad.
Elite Squad with Pablo Escobar.
All right, I have.
Yay! No?
No,
That was you. Oh, you being tricky.
No, I genuinely think it's a good
I
film.
thought you were going to choose Metropolis or something
No,
like
no,
that.
no. I know you've seen that anyway. So
Oh, was it from? Was it the writer of?
No,
City
it
of
was
God?
alright. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a bit nasty.
I
yeah, it's pretty
It
great.
just get nastier and nastier and nastier, and then just stopped.
hey, it's no easy in Brazil, I'll tell you that.
No, I know. It was. In fact, I wanted to ask you how they got that hot, sweaty feel all the way through it. You know, they saturated the fucking, get a real black and that sweaty feel, and everything. Like, it was horrible.
I think it maybe just
And the
quite
plastic
cheap
bag
cameras.
scenes, the plastic bag scenes combined with that just put me.
It's got a documentary, shaky sort of feel.
It was
to
nasty.
I think that was on purpose.
And the acting was really good.
But
The acting was good.
It's kind of, you know, you're trying to make you feel like you're there with the squad going around the streets, you know, witnessing these horrific things.
Yeah.
So what made you think it was my choice?
It just seemed, because it was all guns,
Guys and
the
guns.
music made me think of you.
Oh, really? I've not even seen it.
right.
Oh, it's a great film.
It kind of made me think of you.
Right, okay.
It's the actor that now
And
plays
it's Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, plays Pablo Escobar.
Yeah.
In Narcos.
I can't remember his name, I'm sorry.
I can't remember his name either. I feel
I'm lucky if I remember my own name.
it'll be there.
There he is. He's a really young guy, and yet he plays Pablo Escobar
But
brilliantly. He looks like an
there's
old
like
man.
two guys that play Pablo Escobar, is there not? There's
Well, in Narcos, he's in Narcos.
what's the guy? Man, do you know what? I don't even know his name. There's that guy, and there's the other guy.
It's definitely this actor.
There's one of the guys,
Those
right?
guys.
Who
Yeah,
plays
yeah,
Pablo.
yeah.
I think they're brothers.
Right.
And did you enjoy the film?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was alright. Yeah. It's not something I'd pick.
it's just a film that I just let the first film pop into my head that I could think of and just put it down.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's the feeling I got, yeah.
Yeah,
well
but
done,
it's still a
Sandy.
good film.
Well
I
done.
think it's quite a highly rated film.
I'm not saying it's
Yeah,
a
it
bad
is.
film. It was a good film. It's a bit
Um,
nasty, though.
But I did think the minute I sent it out, I was like, someone's going to have to sit and watch a film not in English.
Right, what poor bastard got Robbie's done?
Well, it's going to come this way now.
Right,
So I got Adaptation,
I haven't heard of it.
and neither had I.
I'm
And it
seeing
is
Robbie's face, though.
It is an absolutely tremendous film.
Never heard of it.
It is the story of, well, it's a fictionalized account of Charlie Kaufman, he was the writer of Being John Malkovich and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, I
He
enjoy
wrote
that.
those
That's
films.
a good film, yeah.
And it's about him trying to write an adaptation of a book about what's those flowers called?
It's called The Orchid Thief.
Orchid.
The Orchid
So it's a
Thief
film
is the
about
book.
orchids.
Yeah.
And he's really struggling to adapt this film,
Yeah.
so he just fictionalizes the third act, and it's absolutely insane. A guy gets
Comedy
eaten.
drama.
It's a
Guy
very-
gets eaten by a crocodile at the end, and you just completely do not see that coming. There's like a car chase.
they
and
will
blah, blah,
now.
Well,
blah.
I'm going to see it coming.
All right, okay, yeah, sorry.
Everybody's going to see that.
I'm bad for that already. We've established after episode 3. But the main thing that's good about it, is it's Nicolas Cage.
Oh, is it?
But he's really reined it in.
God, he's been busy, isn't it? Is this a new one?
No,
No,
it's
it's
97 or
10
something.
years old.
97?
Oh no, 2002.
Why have I
Oh,
not
sorry,
heard
20
of
years
it?
old.
22 years old.
Yeah.
Oh, God, he does look young.
It got,
He's sorry,
Meryl
go on.
Streep. Fucking hell.
it did get Oscar nominations, and Chris Cooper, I think, won an Oscar for it as well. But it's weird because it did really well at awards, but it still seems to have flown under the radar for lots of people.
Nicolas Cage is a great actor, and I'd forgotten that because of his most recent stuff. And the roles with like stuff like The Wicker Man, when he just goes completely batshit. But if a director can get him to keep it contained, he's tremendous, and he's tremendous in that film.
I can't tell. I still can't tell if he's a good actor or just a nutter.
Well, you see him in stuff like Pigs, good, Mandy's
Both,
good.
probably.
Like, yeah, he
Yeah.
has done some really good. In fact, he seems to be going through a phase right now, and the is it the unbearable weight of.
Oh,
talent
yeah.
or something.
I
Unbearable
watched a bit of
something.
that. It was
Yeah.
entertaining.
It's quite entertaining.
Yeah.
It's quite good. So he's done some good works recently, but yeah, he is exceptional in this.
Oh, right,
definitely.
I'll watch that.
And this is a great film about
do like it, I
the
enjoy
torture of being an artist. as
Yeah,
well.
it was Robbie that put me onto Mandy, is it? Anything like- No, it won't be like that.
No, nothing
Mandy
like
was
that.
brilliant.
No.
Mandy was
Yeah,
really
I love Mandy,
shocking.
yeah.
I mean, at its core, this film's about screenplays. It's about writing
Yeah.
screenplays,
Yeah.
and he's just a tortured artist. He can't sleep. He's never happy.
Oh,
so you
you're not
relate to
selling
all
it
this
anymore.
stuff. I'm sure everyone here can relate to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's great.
All
Nicolas
right.
Cage. That's
Okay.
There should be no more reason to watch a film than the words Nicolas and Cage together. So,
Okay.
Robbie, Steve.
Yeah, so I got Excalibur.
I wonder who that could have been.
Things that stood out to me about Excalibur.
Hang on, is
were
that the oldest film out of the lot?
Well, we don't know yet,
Yeah, you don't know yet.
but probably.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I think
sorry,
it's-
Robbie.
the Vaseline lens,
Yes, it
the
is.
dream look, constant dream look, and the green lighting in the middle of the daytime in the forest.
Yeah.
And it's like everything's glowing green. Like, wow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
But the cast is pretty good, man.
Green
It's like,
Light was the
who's that?
dragon,
like
man.
Gabriel Byrne, like everyone's super young. Liam Neeson, Dame Helen Mirren,
Oh yeah.
And,
I remember her in it.
that dude Kieran
'Cause I was
Hines,
young.
is
She
it?
looks good, isn't it?
I'm sure I'm
Aye,
missing
aye,
somebody
Kieran
out
Hines.
as well.
That's a good cast.
Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
He was
Yeah.
in everything, wasn't he? Like when you go back, he
June.
keeps, he popped up in June. I think
Yeah.
that's what I was watching recently.
Life Force.
Life Force. I love Life Force.
Brilliant
If you
film.
if you haven't seen Life Force, you need
I've
to
seen
watch
it loads of times.
It's
As
one
a
of the-
kid, I loved it. Well,
it's-
young man, I loved it.
Do you know what? Like, I think I had it on VHS, but never watched it. I was like, the cover just looked
That's
so.
what it was. Video shop film.
It
that's
looked
right.
crap. The cover. And I was like, I never even watched it until like a few years ago, and was like, this is one of the best films ever.
Yeah,
Um,
it was. It's a brilliant zombie film.
Mhm.
It's good. Yeah.
Like the effects and everything, and sort
There's
of
a reason for it as well.
speaking about Life Force rather than
I think Excalibur is
but-
amazing for being the only good adaptation of the King Arthur myth. Like,
Yeah,
it just
and still is. Yeah.
yeah, they just can't seem to get
What
that
about
right. The Green Knight.
Monty Python
Oh,
and
like
the Holy Grail?
Holy Grail,
Oh, Holy Grail.
yeah.
That's
Close.
the best
It is.
adaptation.
close.
That might be the best film ever.
It might be the
to
most
honest.
accurate adaptation.
Wasn't that made around the same time?
Yeah,
as
it would have been.
Excalibur?
Yeah.
the
I
bit,
think it was a bit of a piss take of it, wasn't it?
some of the effects,
Yeah,
the bit
must
where the
have been.
crow eats the corpse's
Yeah,
eye,
yeah.
that bit is so
I
good.
don't remember it. It's been a long time since I.
Do you know what he was going to make if he didn't make that film? Apparently, he was going to do. I can't remember rightly if it was The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
He made Zardoz as well.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Sean Connery.
Sean Connery one. You ever seen that, Sandy?
Which I saw in my formative years, and it was weird.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah.
So there could have been a 1980s Lord of the Rings live
Yeah.
action.
It could have been
That
a
would
good
have been
one.
better.
But you look at
probably.
Excalibur and think of Lord of the Rings.
By John Boorman.
Similarities.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but incest.
But anyway, that
yeah.
film was very formative for me. You know, the battle scene, the opening battle scene. I mean, come on, and the siege of that castle.
yeah,
that
some
battle
of the
scene-
locations and stuff. Some of them
That
were
was
really
just.
good,
Do you know they weren't stuntmen? They were bikers and shit they were using for that.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, they were biker gangs in armor basically.
There's one bit Lancelot when he's naked in the forest and he's skewered by his own sword.
Nasty.
But I was trying to work out how they did that. And I
Aye.
was like, oh, is that they
Because you
spliced
see the
two shots?
flesh moving, don't you?
But then you see him
And
turn
he
round
pulls
and
it
pull it
out.
out, and it's just
Yeah.
like I really don't know how
Yeah.
they did that because it looks like it's
It
actually
must have
through
been a
him.
big body sheath or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Because his arm doesn't move, does it? He just pulls it out and it's always sort of there. But that's my head in that bit. Nasty.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched Hell Comes to Frogtown,
Hell comes to- Oh, that sounds like a rock.
which
film.
is
Yeah.
1988. Yeah, so it's just a little bit older than Excalibur.
You know why I picked that though?
Well, you said yeah,
Because we mentioned it on one of the podcasts, and you were
Yeah.
like, "You've made that up."
So if I need to try and get the synopsis of this film, I need to try and do it some justice. But basically, it's set in like a post-apocalyptic America after nuclear weapons have wiped everyone out. The only people that are still left alive have turned into weird mutant frogs because of fallout. And
Makes
but there
sense.
is a bunch of horny women who have decided that they need to repopulate the planet.
With
And
frogs.
no, with Roddy Piper, with
just
his
him.
unstoppable virility.
Oh, right.
So they track down Roddy
to be fair.
Piper by the trail of pregnant women that he leaves behind him, and they recruit him in this medtech government thing, enlist him, and put an explosive codpiece on him, which has
Good.
got a C4 charge in case he gets too far away from them,
Right.
and also electrocutes his genitals just to keep his sperm
No
count
way.
high. I'm
No
telling
way,
you.
man.
It's all in the plot. So they send him out to rescue this harem of women that's been captured by the mutant frog people, with a view to impregnating them all. That's basically what he's supposed to do.
I think you enjoyed
So
this film, didn't
every
you?
woman he meets along the way, he's instructed to impregnate.
Right.
And I think Roddy Piper probably enjoyed it.
All right.
I
This is the film that made you want to make films, isn't it?
There's the bit with the dance of the three snakes.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a
But
few
so-
unforgettable bits. Yeah, Sandal Bergman's in it, so Red
From
Sonja.
Conan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in it. She's actually the best thing about it, I think.
Mhm.
She's the
Oh,
most.
was that Conan's bint?
Yeah, yeah,
Ah, right.
yeah. She's the most kind of she seems like the most credible performer in it. No offense to Roddy Piper, but it was made in the same year as They Live. Interestingly,
so he was a bit of a roll then.
yeah.
The
She was
golden age
in-
of Paper.
She was in Red Sonja as well, wasn't she?
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
so
she was in.
I think she'd
a few of
done Conan and Red Sonja before this, so I think this was kind of after them both.
I
But
wonder what she's doing now.
it's suffice to say, it is not as good as it sounds.
Oh, really? You made it sound really good.
Yeah,
I was thinking, I've got to watch
that's
this.
the best part about it is just how batshit crazy the plot is. Like the actual, it's not a bad film. I mean, I'm glad I watched it because you never knew what was going to happen next, and it's full of these bizarre
You sold
moments.
that really well.
Yeah, a lot of the women are sort of have this kind of, from what I remember, like Vasquez quality. Do you know what I mean? They're quite sort of butch, but still
hang on,
sort of
where
feminine.
do the frogs come into it then? Is it giant frogs they're fighting?
Yeah. So,
Oh,
and the
right.
prosthetics are pretty decent. The special effects and stuff are okay. It's got a kind of cantina feel about it. Like, so they go to this. It's called Frog Town. So I mean, the title's literal because his name
These
is
frogs are in the
Sam
desert.
Hell.
Sam Hell, that's
yeah,
right.
so
is
Sam
his
Hell
name.
literally goes to Frog Town.
These are frogs in the desert.
Yeah, they're
That
like
doesn't make
people
much
with
sense,
frog
does it?
heads.
Yeah, because it's post-apocalyptic. You know, it's like the nuclear fallout has turned men into these like mutant frog people.
You're saying that as if
They need
we're all
water.
right.
Yeah,
okay,
War,
okay,
definitely, 'cause
justified
that's what
it
would
to me.
happen now.
Frogs and water. I mean, they're pretty
Amphibious.
inseparable.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the desert.
Yeah.
With 3 knobs.
yeah.
Oh, is
I
that
mean-
the Dance of the Three Snakes?
Exactly, yeah.
When you hear the
Yeah,
title, I mean,
it's-
suspension of belief is going to be involved.
What's that Mel
Like-
Brooks film when the belly dancer and he gets a hard on and was it the
World Part 1.
History of the World Part 1?
Aye.
I remember watching it with my dad and it was so uncomfortable. Not just the erection I had, but seeing it on TV.
All right. So
Yeah. Anyway, it's always fun talking to you guys.
so there's 2 sequels to this apparently.
What? You kidding?
Yeah, but Return to Frogtown and Frog Warrior.
So it was as it's,
Max
it's,
Hell
a-
Frog
it's
Warrior.
basically as good as you say then.
I
Three.
I
They
take
chucked
it.
some money at it
I
as
take
well.
it-
Yeah, where did they get the funding
It
for that?
wasn't super cheap. I mean, I think it was 3 million or something.
What is it? Is it like soft porn? Is it titillating?
It's not as raunchy as I've made it sound.
It's
either,
not
but
raunchy.
Yeah,
Not even raunchy.
yeah
Wow.
there's a little.
Is it
bit.
gory then? What is it? Is it a horror film or what's
Nah,
it classed as?
it's a kind of light-hearted action
Science
film.
fiction.
It's got a strange tone. Like,
Has it got anything as classic as the alleyway fight from They Live?
well, there's nothing as standout as that.
No.
Yeah, because that. Yeah,
But
Yeah, that's
is
what
Roddy
it is.
Piper in any of the sequels?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Gary, the human Google machine.
Well, I'm guessing Max Hell Frog Warrior, like Max must be his brother or something.
Right, okay. Or one of these bastard children of the women of the wasteland. That sounds good. I should make that into a movie.
Women of the Wasteland. Sounds pretty good,
the
eh?
bastard children of women of the
Ah,
wasteland.
okay.
Yeah. Copyright it, please, Gary. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
It's done with the
so
Google button.
If
Don't
you'd
rip me
like
off.
us to give this treatment to your film or any film of your selection, then squaregoluckydip@gmail.com. Send them in, and Gary will roll his knuckle dice, and we'll all get our film assignments.
don't think you
Yeah, homework. That's what I was calling it on Sunday night. I was like, I've got to do my homework.
Yeah.
Everything that we've talked about in the episode will be in the description box below. If you're listening to us on Spotify, you'll have to rewind. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry, Mum.
Be
But
kind, rewind.
Other than that, I think that's bringing us to a conclusion, isn't it?
Yep.
Thank you very much for joining us,
My pleasure.
and we'll have you back again soon.
Yep.
Okay, I look forward
Are we
to it.
allowed to tell people what Adrian will be back for?
If you want.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm not
because
gonna
I
stop
think
you.
you maybe spoiled it a little.
I'd
So-
certainly like to know.
Okay. So, we'll remind you because your memory's bad.
You'll have a
So
different 3 films.
it's going to be. So normally on the show we do our top 5. You know, be it like rom-coms or whatever between the 3 of
yeah.
us. So, but because there's going to be 4 of us, we will do top 3 comic book adaptations.
Yeah, I
So,
remember now. I
Yeah,
remember.
which would be super cool.
Yeah, that will be cool. Yeah.
And we'll hopefully have some new hate material to show people.
Is it a competition? Is this where the prize comes in?
It can be a competition.
Well, actually, yeah. Let me
Because
do the
I
prize,
just
yeah.
told you my top one, haven't
Yeah.
I? So I'm going to have to change that.
Yeah, you're not getting any prize, but
No, I will get a prize because I'm going to change it. So I'm still in for a prize.
so this is not 100% intact, but this is Robbie's prize from last week. Yes.
Even though he's a cheating bastard, as far as I'm concerned.
If
I
I
didn't
didn't
want to
choose
bring
my
it
own
up.
film, I still would have won a bit.
You only chose 4 films and one of them was your own film.
No, because I ended up choosing The Man from Earth in the end. Remember?
If Brain Dead hadn't
In the
cost $3
end.
million, this would be mine. But
That's
yeah,
a
so
fucking fix anyway.
this is 3D printed, hand painted. I'll stick the arm back on for you. Xenomorph.
Xenomorph,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
I know.
Is this
Quite nice,
is
isn't
that an Alien 3
Yeah, it's nice.
one?
Yeah, I'm well
Did you
rated
print
about
that,
this.
Ian?
Yeah, and painted it and varnished it,
Nice.
and then dropped it on my way out the door.
Cleaned it
Oh,
up,
amazing,
painted
man.
it. But
Awesome sauce.
Cheating bastard.
Don't forget to like, subscribe.
Yeah, please hit like button because it really does help. And leave a comment. Just like slag us off or, I don't know, say something hateful.
You
Yeah.
take a shower after saying that.
yeah, we're all doing our own shit. Follow everything, not just this,
Yeah,
you lazy
yeah.
bastards. Follow everything.
Yeah, like everything, subscribe. You know what to do. Peace.
And remember, death to James Corden.